Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Diamond Dotter. Not daughter as in your daughter, but D-O-T-T-E-R. Every time I say it, I realize how that sounds. Today I wanted to talk about my favorite tools and things I always have nearby to do diamond painting, and I feel like they make me more efficient. They just make the process easier. So I thought that would be a fun little video because I have been asked. So without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, I don't use the little trays and bottles anymore. I actually take all of my drills and I just don't want these lids to open, and I put them all in trays so they're ready to go and like I can pull them out. I got really annoyed after a long time of constantly pouring it into a tray and then back into the bottle, so I ended up buying enough trays so that I didn't have to do that. I also have, what is this? Like it's Cat's something brand. They're supposed to be static free. They're actually not bad. I have a ton of them, so I may be switching to using only these and no longer the other ones. But I recommend that. If you have this space, you have to have like a little cubby that holds them all, so it can get a little tedious. But definitely you need a tray of some kind, whether it has a lid or not. But if you can find a way to organize them and make it easier, well, why not, right? Okay, the next thing I recommend is release paper. Now you can use this multiple ways. You could pull back the entire thing of plastic. There's plenty of videos out there. And you can put your squares, which is this one here, and you can put your squares down to cover all of the glue that keeps hair, dust, and all that away. So you could do that. However, how I do it is I create a section. So here's some washi tape. Then I cut out a square and I just use my release paper to cover the square I'm currently working on that's not done and protect that. And then I take my little ceramic cutting blade when I'm done and I cut down another square. So I try to make sure the squares are not bigger than the release paper. I do have an entire video on this release paper though. I'll put it at the end screen. I really like this release paper. It's super cheap. I reuse the sheets a ton. Which brings me to the next thing. To make washi tape squares, you need washi tape. Any brand will do. Most of the kits come with washi tape, so I've got tons of washi tape. But instead of creating squares with my washi tape, like I know a lot of people do, like I said, I just create my two main sections and then I just cut them off. And then I cut off the entire plastic to the next line. So I'll cut from here down and then cut across. And then this is my new border starting the next section. So washi tape is a definite must. I'll leave a link to a few cheap washi tapes that I bought that are pretty good. Then another thing, a brayer. Now if you make cards or do digital stamps, you've seen these bad boys before. But anytime I finish a section, I like to take it, oops, get rid of any loose ones, and then I like to kind of go over it. Now this works exceptionally well with squares. If you have any squares that are kind of trying to pop up and go rogue, it helps a lot. Then let's talk about another must-have, which is putty and diamond painting wax. Do you have to? No, you can totally use the pink wax. There's no problems with that. I just hate it. I tried to use pink wax the other day to see if I could like get back into it, and I was like, nope, never again. Now I make my own. I have an Etsy store, but these two little tins have lasted me forever. In fact, I have had this one for almost a year. Barely dented it. And then I use this sticky wax in my single placer, which is right here. I usually have a cat's ear, but I lost my latest cat's ear and I can't find it. But then I use the putty in my multi-placer. Now I'm using the Diamond Art Club multi-placers. I really like these. I totally hated them at first, but I like that they're squared off. Oops, come on camera. I like that they're squared off and narrow, and so they're not fat and they don't accidentally grab the drills nearby. The putty stays in it really nice and well. I also sell putty on my Etsy store in bags and in tins, if you're ever curious about that. And then, of course, there's diamond painting pens. Now, don't go spend a fortune on these. You can get carried away like that. I buy like a pen every other week, and I have a lot. So I have all these pens here. They're in this little weird case, so it's kind of hard to show. But I've got tons of pens, all from the same creator, Shimmering Canvases. I love her designs. I love the way she makes them, long, short, skinny. I have them like all so they can match my diamond painting, because when you take the picture, it's just cuteness. So I definitely recommend getting a pen, but you can also get cheap ones on Amazon. It's just nicer than the plastic ones. But if you're just starting out, go with the plastic ones that come with your kit. You won't be able to really use these tips in there as easily, but that's okay. It gives you an idea of what you like before you switch to something expensive like this and these tips. These were not cheap. So another thing I recommend after you've got your pen, ceramic knife, brayer, putty, and wax is this bad boy. Now you don't have to buy this brand. This, I just tried it out because they sent it to me. This is painting adhesive. So even a good, like well-made, respected brand, sometimes they lose their stickiness. In fact, I did a kit that was pretty old from Diamond Art Club, and it lost all its sticky. Like I was like, oh no. But this stuff is great because you can put it on the canvas, and you can use a brush, or you can use the little plastic applicator tool that they give you. But then you're able to make it sticky again, and it was a lifesaver. And this, there's tons in here. On my last canvas, I used it on the entire thing because it had lost all stickiness. It's better than waiting for them to redo the claim you place on it for it losing it. I also recommend a brush. Now, even if you're using the tray method like I do, when you go to take down your kit, drills are going to stick, and so a nice little brush like this to brush them out really helps a lot, in my opinion. And then, of course, tweezers. So many uses for these. I use them to pick up drills that I put in the wrong spot. I also use them to help peel back plastic. I also use them, most importantly, to get the putty out of this so that I can replace it. So most of the kits you'll get from Diamond Art Club and Dreamer Designs will come with tweezers. I have got like 50 tweezers. These things are sharp. They will cut and poke holes in your body, but worth it. So you don't really need to go buy any. Just get a kit and you will have everything you need there. So yeah, that is what I recommend for getting started. The release paper, even if you don't put it over your full canvas, is great because then it at least covers the area you're working on without dust. Washi tape to mark. Don't have to, but it helps. Oh, and I forgot, little pieces of cut up dryer sheet. And I'll tell you why. Because sometimes you get static, so you throw them in there. This is supposed to be an anti-static tray, but they lied. You throw them in there, shake them up, let it sit for a little while, and it'll get rid of all your static. So little pieces of dryer sheet, always a good thing to have. And then, of course, upgrading from the pink wax when you're able to afford it. And no, you don't need to buy my brand. I was just showing because that's all I have on hand. A brayer tool, especially for those square drills. Ceramic cutting knife. And, of course, your pen. Those are things I recommend. Oh, right. And your adhesive that helps you stay sticky. So these will make it a lot easier to get started. You don't have to start by going and buying 60 trays either. Start one at a time, wait for sales, or just use one tray and dump your little cups in there. It's entirely up to you. I just found it so much easier to kit up into the tray, and then every time I grab this one, it's already ready to go. It has shaved off a ton of time. I know there was another YouTuber that tested it, and it didn't shave off time for her. This method shaves off time for me, like in half, because I'm not sitting there having to get it out of a tray, dump it, get it back. So I think it's just kind of a personal preference. And it's also how do you diamond paint, right? So yeah, that is what I recommend if you're just getting started. I hope you found this video helpful, and until next time, take care. Bye now.